Escape from the Planet of the Apes wasn't just the film that saved a dead franchise. It was proof that a two-word telegram could resurrect an entire series. The movie where screenwriter Paul Den solved an impossible problem by reversing time itself, and the production where only two people wore ape makeup because 20th Century Fox slashed the budget to $2,500,000. While audiences watched Cornelius and Zira become celebrity darlings in 1973 Los Angeles, behind the cameras lurked a director who filmed an ending so brutal the studio made him change it, a third ape killed off in minutes to save makeup costs, and Kim Hunter feeling profound isolation as one of only two chimps on set after being surrounded by hundreds in the original. Here are 15 weird facts about Escape from the Planet of the Apes that reveal how you make a sequel after blowing up the entire planet. And stick around for the bonus fact, because what happened at the end of Beneath almost killed this franchise before that famous telegram arrived. Let's time travel into chaos. Number 15. Paul Den received a two-word telegram from producer Arthur Jacobs. Apes exist. Sequel required. After Beneath the Planet of the Apes ended with Earth's complete nuclear destruction, screenwriter Paul Den believed the franchise was finished. Then producer Arthur P. Jacobs sent him a telegram reading simply, "Apes exist. Sequel required." Multiple sources confirm this legendary telegram, though some report slight variations like "Apes exist. Sequel required" with a comma. Den was baffled. He'd just destroyed the entire planet at Charlton Heston's insistence. How could apes exist? Jacobs didn't care about logic. 20th Century Fox wanted another Apes film because the first two had been massively profitable. Den's job was figuring out how. The telegram became Hollywood legend, representing studio executives' complete indifference to narrative consistency when money was involved. Den later said he spent weeks trying to solve the impossible problem before hitting on time travel. That two-word telegram forced one of science fiction cinema's cleverest plot solutions and saved the franchise. Number 14. The budget was slashed from $5 million to $2,500,000. Production was filmed in just 6 weeks. 20th Century Fox gave Beneath the Planet of the Apes approximately $5 million. For Escape, they allocated only $2,500,000, exactly half. This drastic budget cut meant radical production changes. According to multiple sources, including Kim Hunter interviews, filming lasted only 6 weeks, from November 30, 1970 to January 19, 1971. Hunter recalled, "Escape was then cut short, of course. Budgets change when you're making sequels, don't they? The compressed schedule meant fewer takes, simplified setups, and minimal rehearsal time. Director Don Taylor had to work fast and efficiently. The budget restrictions also dictated the story itself. Paul Den's screenplay deliberately featured only two apes in makeup, Cornelius and Zira, rather than hundreds, and set the film in contemporary Los Angeles, where existing locations required no expensive futuristic sets. The $2,500,000 budget was tight even by 1971 standards, forcing creativity through limitation. Number 13. Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowell felt profound isolation being the only two people in ape makeup. Kim Hunter revealed that despite the friendly atmosphere on set, she and Roddy McDowell felt a sense of isolation for being the only people dressed as chimpanzees. In the original Planet of the Apes, dozens of extras wore ape makeup, creating a community of performers enduring the same 4-hour makeup ordeal. In Escape, only Hunter and McDowell went through the process daily. Everyone else was human. Hunter described the loneliness of being separated from the rest of the cast and crew by prosthetics and makeup. The isolation mirrored their characters' experience, two apes alone in a human world. Method acting through production design. McDowell and Hunter bonded even more closely during Escape because they were the only ones sharing the grueling makeup experience. The isolation actually enhanced their performances. The alienation they felt on set translated directly into Cornelius and Zira's fish-out-of-water story. Number 12. Sal Mineo's character Dr. Milo was killed in the first 10 minutes to save makeup budget. The original plan featured 3 apes, Cornelius, Zira, and scientist Dr. Milo, played by Sal Mineo, traveling back in time. But keeping 3 actors in expensive ape makeup for the entire 6-week shoot would strain the already tight budget. The solution: kill Milo almost immediately. In the film, Milo is killed by a gorilla at the Los Angeles Zoo within the first 10 minutes, reducing the number of ape makeup applications from 3 to 2 for the remaining production. This saved thousands of dollars in makeup costs and freed Mineo after minimal filming. Multiple sources confirm this was purely budgetary. Mineo wasn't difficult or problematic. The production simply couldn't afford 3 apes. Mineo's brief appearance meant his name still appeared in promotional materials despite minimal screen time. The gorilla attack that kills Milo became narratively convenient exposition. It demonstrated that 1973 Earth gorillas were savage animals rather than intelligent beings, emphasizing how far ape evolution had progressed in the future. Number 11. The original ending was far more brutal. Zira was mauled by dogs while Cornelius committed suicide by cop. The theatrical ending shows Hasline shooting Zira's baby, then Cornelius shooting Hasline before police kill both apes. But the original screenplay was significantly darker. According to production documents, the sequence had Hasline shoot the baby chimp dead, followed by Cornelius shooting Hasline and throwing his gun into the sea, grief-stricken over his child's death. As police bloodhounds reached the ship, Zira tried to run down the gangplank but was savagely mauled by the dogs. Police then shot her to put her out of her misery. Cornelius, now suicidal, pretended to still be armed and walked toward police with a hand in his pocket, essentially suicide by cop. He was shot first by one officer, then fatally by another. Actor Eric Braeden seemed to recall this mauling scene having been filmed. The theatrical version softened this considerably, removing the dog attack and making the deaths quicker and less graphic, though still tragic. Number 10. The opening scene of Apes witnessing Earth's destruction was filmed but cut from the final release. Multiple sources confirmed that a sequence showing the three apes inside their spacecraft witnessing Earth's destruction was filmed but not included in the final cut. An elaborate ship interior set was constructed specifically for this scene. It wasn't used again in the movie but was later repurposed for the opening episode of the Planet of the Apes television series with alterations. Photos exist showing the apes being filmed in the cockpit wearing helmets. Kim Hunter remembered, "I think they just cut it. I think we did that as I recall. I remember shots inside, not a full ship, but inside shots that they took, and I guess just decided to cut, which probably made sense." The 2008 Blu-ray release notes suggested producers preferred holding the element of surprise until the apes removed their helmets on the beach, and felt the scene might lead audiences to anticipate a standard science fiction film when Escape was primarily a love story. The Marvel Comics adaptation, based on scripts rather than the finished film, included this sequence. Number 9. The film grossed about $10 million against its $2,500,000 budget despite 20th Century Fox spending minimal marketing. Producer Arthur Jacobs was interviewed in December 1971 and acknowledged Escape's disappointing returns compared to Beneath. He identified 3 reasons for underperformance. Some audiences were disappointed by Beneath. Escape wasn't science fiction spectacle, but intimate character study, and 20th Century Fox took the attitude it was pre-sold, and therefore not spending too much money in selling it. Despite minimal marketing, the film still grossed approximately $10 million domestically, 4 times its budget. By any standard, this was profitable, but compared to the first 2 films' massive returns, it represented a decline. Jacobs noted, "It received better reviews and was, I think, a better film. It was an intimate picture, not a spectacle." The reduced budget and marketing meant lower grosses, but the 4-to-1 return validated 20th Century Fox's decision to continue the franchise. The pre-sold assumption that fans would automatically see another Apes film regardless of marketing proved partially correct but limited the film's reach to general audiences. Number 8. Exteriors were shot at real Los Angeles locations including Beverly Wilshire Hotel and Los Angeles Zoo. According to Studio Publicity and Turner Classic Movies production notes, Escape filmed extensively on location around Los Angeles and Beverly Hills. Locations included the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, several upscale shops in the Wilshire District and Beverly Hills, including Carroll and Company Men's Shop and Giorgio's Women's Shop, the Los Angeles Zoo, where Milo was killed, and the Los Angeles County Museum of Natural History. The spaceship splashdown at the beginning was filmed off the Malibu coast. Harbor sequences were shot in San Pedro, and other scenes filmed in Rancho Park near the 20th Century Fox lot. This location shooting gave Escape unprecedented authenticity. These were real 1971 Los Angeles streets, shops, and landmarks. The decision to film on location rather than studio sets was partially budgetary. Existing locations cost less than constructing sets, but also aesthetic. Director Don Taylor wanted contemporary realism to ground the science fiction premise. Seeing Cornelius and Zira in actual Beverly Hills boutiques made their fish out of water story more immediate and relatable. Number 7. Kim Hunter was initially reluctant to return after being killed off in Beneath. The script convinced her. Kim Hunter had been killed in Beneath the Planet of the Apes when the underground mutants shot Zira. When asked to return for Escape, Hunter's initial reaction was relief. I was very glad I was killed off, and that Zira was not required anymore after that film. She'd endured the grueling makeup process for 2 films and believed her character arc was complete. However, when Paul Denn's script arrived, Hunter changed her mind. She told interviewers she liked the script for Escape and accepted the job. The screenplay's intelligence, humor, and emotional depth appealed to her. While she'd had to be convinced by the studio to make Beneath, which she found disappointing, Escape's quality script made her participation enthusiastic. Hunter recognized that Den had written Zira and Cornelius as fully developed protagonists rather than supporting characters. The role gave her substantial dramatic material, from comedy to tragedy, that justified enduring the makeup chair again. Number 6. Don Taylor was a television director making his theatrical feature directorial debut with a major studio film. Don Taylor came from television, having directed numerous television episodes throughout the 1960s. Escape from the Planet of the Apes was his first major theatrical feature for a major studio. 20th Century Fox hired him specifically because he was affordable and efficient, perfect for a tight budget, fast schedule production. Taylor later directed other genre films in the 1970s, including The Island of Dr. Moreau, 1977, Damien, Omen 2, 1978, and The Final Countdown, 1980. Critics noted Taylor did a relatively pedestrian job on Escape, with straightforward, functional direction rather than visual flair. However, his television efficiency served the production well. He delivered on schedule and under budget, exactly what 20th Century Fox needed. Taylor recognized the script's strength lay in character interactions and performances rather than spectacle, so he prioritized capturing McDowell and Hunter's chemistry over elaborate camera work. His workmanlike approach let the actors and script shine without directorial interference. Taylor never achieved auteur status, but his professional competence made Escape possible within its constraints. Number 5. Natalie Trundy played Dr. Stephanie Branton. She was producer Arthur Jacobs' wife and appeared in 4 of 5 original Apes films. Natalie Trundy played Dr. Stephanie Branton, one of the sympathetic scientists who befriends Cornelius and Zira. Trundy was married to producer Arthur P. Jacobs, and this was her most substantial role in the Apes franchise. She'd previously appeared as a mutant in Beneath and would later play the ape Lisa in Conquest and Battle. Multiple sources note that Trundy played as many different roles throughout the series as Roddy McDowell did, 4 out of 5 original films, always in different parts. Escape was her only appearance as a human character and her largest speaking role. Critics were mixed on her performance. Bradford Dillman and Trundy, as the 2 human scientist leads, were described as relatively wooden compared to McDowell and Hunter's vibrant ape performances. However, Trundy's presence reflected Arthur Jacobs' influence over casting. Having the producer's wife in a major role was standard Hollywood nepotism. Trundy acquitted herself professionally despite the material giving more dramatic weight to the apes than the human characters. Number 4. Eric Braeden's villain Dr. Hasslein was allegedly based on Henry Kissinger, the president's sinister Germanic advisor. Dr. Otto Hasslein, the president's science advisor who becomes the film's antagonist, was widely interpreted as a Henry Kissinger parody. Multiple reviews from 1971 described Hasslein as the president's sinister Germanic advisor based on Henry Kissinger. Eric Braeden, who is German-American, played Hasslein with calculated coldness and accented English that emphasized his foreign origins. Kissinger was National Security Advisor and later Secretary of State under Nixon, wielding enormous influence. The parallel was clear. A German-accented scientist advising the president on matters of national security, advocating preemptive violence against perceived threats. Hasslein's arguments for killing Zira and Cornelius to prevent future ape domination mirrored Cold War rhetoric about preemptive strikes and existential threats. The 1971 audience would have immediately recognized the Kissinger parallels. Whether Paul Denn intentionally wrote Hasslein as Kissinger satire or critics read it into the character remains debated, but the association stuck. Braeden's performance emphasized Hasslein's intellectual justification for atrocity. He genuinely believes he's saving humanity. Number 3. The film received mainly positive reviews and is considered the best sequel in the original Apes series. Escape from the Planet of the Apes received predominantly positive reviews upon release and is generally considered the best sequel in the original 5-film series. Critics praised its intelligence, humor, and emotional depth. Cinefantastique editor Frederick S. Clark wrote that the burgeoning series had the promise of being the first epic of film science fiction. Unlike Beneath's apocalyptic spectacle, Escape was described as an intimate picture, not a spectacle, character-driven rather than action-driven. Reviewers appreciated the clever time travel premise, the fish-out-of-water comedy in the first half, and the tragic turn in the second. McDowell and Hunter's performances were universally praised. The film's critical success validated Paul Denn's inventive solution to the impossible sequel problem. Modern retrospectives consistently rank Escape as the franchise's second-best film after the original. It proved sequels could be intelligent, emotionally complex, and narratively daring. The positive reception ensured 20th Century Fox would continue the series through conquest and battle, cementing Planet of the Apes as cinema's first major science fiction franchise. Number 2. Paul Denn's screenplay added heavy racial allegory and religious overtones, including the Massacre of the Innocents. Compared to its predecessors, Escape dwelt more heavily on themes of racial conflict, which became a primary focus through the rest of the series. Paul Denn added religious overtones to the latter part of the film, particularly an allegory of the story of Jesus. A line of dialogue has the president comparing the plan to kill Zerah's unborn child to the biblical massacre of the innocents, when King Herod ordered all male infants in Bethlehem killed to eliminate the prophesied king of the Jews. The parallel was explicit. Kill the ape child to prevent the prophesied future where apes dominate humans. Denn's screenplay also contained racial allegory, the initial celebrity treatment of the apes followed by fear, persecution, and calls for extermination paralleled cycles of immigration and racial panic throughout American history. The film's 1971 release came during intense civil rights struggles, and audiences recognized the contemporary resonance. Denn's intelligence elevated what could have been simple science fiction into social commentary about prejudice, fear of the other, and self-fulfilling prophecies of violence. Number 1. The twist ending where Armando hides the real baby created the entire foundation for the next two films. The film's climactic twist, revealed only in the final scene, shows that the baby Hasline murdered wasn't Cornelius and Zerah's child. Before fleeing, they'd switched babies with Heloise, the circus ape who'd just given birth. The real baby, Milo, later renamed Caesar, survived hidden with circus owner Armando. This twist accomplished two things. It provided emotional catharsis after the tragic deaths, and it created the foundation for conquest and battle. According to multiple sources, this time Paradox twist ending was considered an extremely clever touch that set the groundwork for the rest of the series. Without this reveal, the franchise would have ended with Escape. The surviving baby became Caesar, the revolutionary leader who would spark the ape uprising and conquest, creating the very future that Cornelius and Zerah had described. The ending created a predestination paradox. Attempts to prevent the ape-dominated future actually caused it. Paul Denn's twist transformed Escape from standalone sequel into the linchpin of a 5-film epic about inevitable cycles of oppression and revolution. Bonus fact: the screenplay was originally titled Secret of the Planet of the Apes before being changed to Escape. According to production documents and Turner Classic Movies sources, Paul Denn's original screenplay was titled Secret of the Planet of the Apes. The title emphasized mystery and revelation, the secret being how apes evolved to dominate humans. 20th Century Fox changed it to Escape from the Planet of the Apes to emphasize action and match the from of for to naming convention established by the first two films. Escape also accurately described the plot. The apes literally escaped their doomed planet by fleeing through time. The title change reflected marketing concerns. Escape was more dynamic and immediately conveyed movement and urgency, while Secret sounded passive and mysterious. All 5 original films followed the pattern: Planet of the Apes, Beneath the Planet of the Apes, Escape from the Planet of the Apes, Conquest of the Planet of the Apes, Battle for the Planet of the Apes. The consistency helped brand recognition. Secret would have broken the pattern. Denn's original title survives only in pre-production documents as evidence of the creative process behind what became the franchise's most critically acclaimed sequel. Escape from the Planet of the Apes premiered May 21, 1971, less than a year after Beneath destroyed the entire planet. Paul Denn received a 2-word telegram demanding the impossible and solved it with time travel. 20th Century Fox slashed the budget to $2,500,000 and compressed filming to 6 weeks. Kim Hunter and Roddy McDowell endured isolation as the only 2 performers in ape makeup. Sal Mineo's character died in 10 minutes to save makeup costs. The original brutal ending was softened, and somehow, through budget limitations and creative problem-solving, the production created the franchise's best sequel. The film that nobody thought was possible became the one everyone remembers most fondly. The intimate character study proved more emotionally resonant than Beneath's apocalyptic spectacle. The fish-out-of-water comedy evolved into Greek tragedy about prophecy and inevitability. And that final twist, the baby switch, created the foundation for 2 more films and established Planet of the Apes as cinema's first true science fiction epic. Arthur Jacobs' telegram saved the franchise. Paul Den's ingenious reversal gave it new life. And Cornelius and Zira's tragic journey backward through time created the predestination paradox that made the entire series thematically coherent. The future trying to prevent itself ensures its own creation. 53 years later, Escape remains the template for how to make an impossible sequel. Reverse the premise, embrace limitations creatively, trust your performers, and deliver an ending so clever it justifies everything that came before.